What a moron. I knew there was stuff I've forgotten. Oh well, we're fine. Hello everybody, welcome to Chaz Draycott Media and welcome to another episode of Microsoft Flight Simulator. Today we're back in the Blue Boy, we're back in the tractor, we're back in the shed, whatever you want to call it. We're in the Boeing 737-800. I've been quite looking forward to this charter actually because one, it gets me back in this aircraft that I definitely need more practice in and don't really have the time outside of these videos at the moment to practice. But as you can also see, I'm at my beloved Manchester airport. We're back at my home base and thank you massively to Daniel Boddington for chartering this flight today. It's only going to be a short one. We're just hopping over to Amsterdam today as KLM 8 Delta Bravo, Daniel's initials, and I'm really looking forward to getting this one underway. Just a quick side note, there is a new version of my scratchpad as of this episode. It's version 2.5 now. There's different notes here. I've put somewhere for the cost index and the block fuel to go as well. And there's just a few other little bits that are slightly tidied up, so if you like using that, then there's going to be a link for that in the description. I'm also working on my checklists and things for these aircraft, for the 737 and for the Airbus A320. I'm going to do a slightly separate one for the fly-by-wire A320neo as well, but there won't be much difference between them. At the end of the day, when I fly the Phoenix, I still use a fly-by-wire checklist, because same aircraft underneath really, innit? Anyway, we're going to hop into the cockpit of this utter shed, and we're going to get cracking, are we? I'm using the Fly UK Aero checklist that I've always used for the 737. There's a few bits wrong with it. I don't ever get told to put the APU bleed on. That's something that I'm working on in mine. And on my own, I'm changing the order of them a slight bit. So we're going to make sure that we get everything all set up and ready to go this morning. We've got the Navigraph charts on at the moment. We've not got that connected, though. We're going to be on the Sandbo 1 Yankee departure on runway 23 left. And we're going to head over like this. We're not going to quite go for the VOR. We're just going to vector ourselves straight in that direction and then go to AM 240. That's basically just to get you to go towards the airport, and then you'll get vectored in, told direct from there. I'm not sure if there's anybody online at the moment, actually. No, Amsterdam is busy according to Volanta, but there's nobody online there, so it's fine. Sorry, my microphone was in a really weird position throughout all of that, so I hope you can hear me. Right, so we're going to go up top then, get all this started up. So we need to make sure that the the standby power and the battery power is all good to go. We've got the left aft fuel pump on, which is powering the APU. And speaking of, we're going to start said APU nice and early just now. Okay, once the APU is on, this little blue light will shine up here saying APU gen is available. Let me just check that I've got my controls and everything set up for this. Doesn't look like it. They don't seem to have come on, so bear with me. Okay, yeah, my stick had disconnected again, which is very annoying. Okay, we're back in. Right, so the APU gen is now available. Ready? We're going to click it over. Power all changes over to that. We want the position lights on steady, which they already are. Logo light we're going to put on because I always do. Cabin lights all fine. Emergency exits, we need to close that. We need to get the chime on for fasten seatbelts, and then we put the packs to auto. Crack him. IRS mode selectors, which are further up here, go to the nav position on those two. Oh, I've lost my position. FMC. So what we want to do before that is get the data in from SimBrief here on the electronic flight bag. We're going to put that in as QNH 1001 in HPA. That comes up down here in this little green bit. It's hard to see on the videos, I've realised. 1001. There we go. Now we can do the FMC. So we'll go FMC, position in it, put that there. Route, we're going to do a flight plan request, that one, and we're going to set the payload, set the fuel, select the route. And it'll do that flight plan request. Oh, unable required nav perform. Oh, we'll do a perf init request while we're there. Ah, it's got the route uplink ready. Okay, we can activate that and execute it. We'll then do the perf init. We'll do a perf init request on there. Doesn't take very long to do this one in comparison. Cost index today is not on that clipboard. It's actually on this one. It's quite high. It's 48 today. Block fuel is 5151, so it should say 5.2. Yes, we'll go 5.2. Cool. And yeah, cost index 48. Smashing. It's got all that. We're going to go to cruise, make sure we've got the right flight level in. We do not want that. We want 350 today instead of 390. Thank you very much. Then we'll put the departure and the arrival in. So we're on the Sandbo 1 Yankee for runway 23 left. Pop that in. And then on the arrival, we are on ILS 18 right that I've gone for today. It originally put me in on 27, but I want 18 right for that on the Redford 1. And we are going to go via Sugol. Crack him. Cool. Let's just go down legs, just see if there's any discontinuities. Beautiful. Yeah, vectors coming in when we go around, or if we go around, which we're definitely not going to today. We're going to do a double check on that as well. We're going to change this screen here over to plan when I remember how to do that. And then we're going to just step this one at a time on here. Keep it going. It should take us straight to the airport. Sugol, straight to the airport, yep. And then up that way, yep, and around. And then in on the ILS. Cool, I like that. That is all fine and dandy. While all that's happening, we need to request boarding. We've got the jetway already connected. So it will now request boarding from all the passengers. We can disconnect the ground power at this point as well. We can go into menu, FS actions, ground services, release ground power. We're not going to remove the chocks yet because that's given me some pretty adverse issues in the past. Where on God's earth are you going? I have a GSX profile for this place, but you wouldn't think it, would you? And while all of that is going on, we're going to connect to VATSIM today. We are KLM 8 Delta Bravo in a Boeing 737-800. Let's connect, see if anybody's online. Doesn't look like it from Volanta. And yes, as you can see here, nobody online. We're just on 122.8 today. So we're going to come down here, make sure that we've got that queued up. Be on Unicom on there, get the transponder on as well. We'll get that on TA. We're going to squawk 2000 today, because that's the NATO code for basically I am doing whatever I'm doing. I'm just going to write that down on my scratch pad as well. And while boarding is going on, we would originally get flight clearance at this point, but we're not going to. So we get transponder set. We want the IAS max speed. We want to get our performance in, actually. We need to go to the performance tool here. So we'll import that from the OFP, import from the aircraft. We need to select the runway. We're on 23 left. Oh, hello. Import from the aircraft, import the weather, calculate the speeds. 136, 137, 142, VREF is 144, which will go in here. For some reason, it scrolls so weird, does this plane. What are we after again? 136, 137, 142. So, 136, 137, and then 142 goes in there. Cracking. What flaps setting did it say we had? Flaps is going to be 5 today. So, nice and shallow on the flaps. Okay. It's weird that it's sort of disagreeing with me. 136, 137, yeah, 137, 142. 61.8 is the takeoff weight. We're going to click that to get the trim. 5.26 the aircraft thinks, but it thinks 5.63. I'm going to set that now actually, because I very often do that very late with the trim. So we'll get spinning.
Manchester traffic in Mayday 0, runway 23 right, vacate.
You just say 22, right? Company traffic, though. Let's go for about there. With the trim, that'll be fine. We need to put the initial altitude in, so we need to get that from the departure chart. 5,000 at Samba, I thought it was. It's funny, you get to know certain airports quite well. Then we need to put the yaw damper on up here, which is there. The window heat all comes on as well. Bang in. We'll put the APU bleed on while we're at it, because the checks never tell us to do that. Flight altitude set, which is 35,000 feet in here. Fantastic. Landing altitude, I'm actually going to be quite a good boy about this, and we're going to go for the information. Elevation is 13 feet, so we want that at 0, really. I was going to say, I'm going to actually check what the landing altitude is, rather than just putting it as 50 all the time like I used to. Flight directors then come on, and then we should have LNAV and VNAV. So flight director just behind my head here, and then that one there. VNAV, beautiful. LNAV, cracking. Cool, we've got it all in. Auto brake goes to RTO. And then it's just all about the radios and doors and everything, so we just need to wait for boarding to be completed now. Based on what I'd seen, that company KLM traffic is taxiing like a true KLM pilot at 500 knots. I wonder if they're going to be heading down here, actually. At Manchester traffic, KLM 8 Delta Bravo, just checking with the company KLM arriving traffic. Are you taxiing all the way down to Terminal 2 via Zulu?
No, I'm taking a short cut I'm going to taxi in Terminal 3, KLM Edit 0.
Roger that, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
KLM don't land at Terminal 3, mate. I mean, he came over here, so that's not Terminal 3. Terminal 3's over here. They've put the new pier in, which is cool to see on SimBrief. I didn't notice that earlier. How cool is that? I wonder how quickly the scenery is going to get updated for that, because this new pier is nearly built. Where are you going? Oh, we've got the bong from GSX, so we are all boarded. Okay, we need to just make sure we've got before start checklist. Auto throttle armed. Let's do that. Left, right and centre fuel pumps, which are the rest of the ones that need to go on. We need to just have a quick look if we've got enough fuel in these centre tanks. No fuel in the centre tanks. Just looking at that number there, that tells you that in the right, that in the left, that in the middle, so we don't need to worry about that. We then have the electric hydraulic pumps on, which are down here. Anti-collision light will go on. Come on. Parking brake set, ground equipment removed, area clear. I'm ready to go. Are you? Daniel? Ready? Yeah, should be all good. We're going to be facing to the east, so we will get ready to continue pushback, or prepare for pushback and departure. We'll click, and everything will clear off. We can only face west. Manchester traffic, KLM 8 Delta Bravo, preparing to push back from stand 105, facing west on Zulu. Zulu orange, that'll be. Not heard anything from my guy. Weird, I heard him earlier. I don't hear him now. I wonder if I just need to take the parking brakes off. How strange. Ah, I know why. This always happens.
Release parking brakes, please.
There you go. Okay, let's get engine started. So secondary display unit, which is down here. Where is it? Lower DU goes to engine, so it shows up there. And we basically need to go up here, put engine 1 into ground. We need to turn the packs off. APU bleed is on. Engine is starting to spool up now on the left hand side. Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. We'll put some fuel in. I definitely need to sort out the GSX profile for this place, because the spacing of everything just doesn't seem quite right. Okay, so engine switch has gone back into the off position. Parking brakes are set. He's going to go and sort that. And in the meantime, I'm going to start engine number 2. Let's go up here. Put that engine in ground. Wait for a little bit for it to spool up slightly. Hear it. Makes great noises. I know that people have said to use the Boris sound pack for this, but I'm happy enough with these noises. I think they're really, really good. Okay, we'll put some fuel in it.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed.
Where's my guy? There he is. He's going to get run over by a tug. Yeah, the GSX profile's broken, isn't it? What we need to do is just plan our taxi. So we're going to be going out via Zulu, Echo, Delta, Papa, Juliet. Oh, it's Echo Delta, Zulu, Echo Delta, Papa, Juliet. Oh no, we're going 2-3 left, aren't we? So we need to go Papa, Delta Zulu, Tango. And we're going to go holding point Tango 1, runway 23 left. Whoops. Okay, so before we taxi, we need to make sure that we have sorted the generators out. So we've got the power now based on the engines rather than anything else. Packs go back to auto. APU bleed comes off. And then the APU will come off as well. Isolation valve goes to auto. Got some of the switches really not behaving. APU goes off. Engine start switches go to continuous. We then have to set the flaps. We need to set them to flaps 5. Now I'm going to do that in the aircraft here, because if I do it on my Airbus controls it won't be quite right. So that's flaps 1, flaps 2, flaps 5. Are you going to stay there? Going to set the transponder to TA and RA as well. Just going to do that nice and early, make sure it's all good. We've set the elevator trim, and we need to get rid of the lower DU. We need to verify the takeoff speeds, which need to be done in the MCDU. Sorry, not the MCD, the FMC. See, it's 137, 137, 142. Yeah, the aircraft seems to think that it's not that. That's fine. We've verified them. Taxi light goes on. I don't think there's any other lights need to go on, is there? No? Okay. Manchester traffic, KLM 8 Delta Bravo, taxiing runway 23 left via Zulu, Echo, Delta, Papa, Delta Zulu, Tango. Let's go! You know what time it is? Thank you, Daniel Boddington, for chartering this flight here today. It's good to be back in the 737. I do need to fly this thing a little bit more often. It's a much more manual flying process, I find, than flying the A320. We'll do a quick brake test, crack him. So we're going to be on Zulu now. I definitely need an updated GSX profile for this place, though. Apologies for that. And while we're taxiing, we've got only a few things to do, actually, to be honest. We've got the parking brake, sorry. We've got the auto brake set to RTO. We've got the flaps set, we've got trim set. We're all good. It's also lovely to be back at Manchester as well, back at my local. Always a pleasure to fly out of this place. So the new pier will be on the left hand side there, all along here. We're just going to sort of cut this chicane a little bit. It's a very strange part of the taxi route down to Terminal 2. It's just to get around the end of the pier basically when they put heavies on. But we'll be going down here in future because the pier is going to poke out here. But I'm not sure what they're going to do out the cargo side of things here, because there's usually quite a bit of cargo parked along here and a few sort of remote stands there for aircraft, so it'll be interesting to see what they do with it. Killed the immersion a little bit there, didn't it, to see all of the little cargo cart things popping in. It is what it is. On to Echo now. Then we're going to turn right onto Delta. Quebec, I think, is the one on the right. They've sort of added a temporary taxiway down here a little bit sooner than Delta because of works that were going on here. All the EasyJet and Brussels and Austrian and things park along here. Past the lovely tower. It's known as the Thistle. As you can see, it looks like a thistle plant because of its shape. So we're going to go left here, and we are going to go and cross the runway via Papa Delta Zulu. We're going to hold short of the runway and just check there's nobody coming in. Check there's nothing around. There's an EasyJet on stand there. Have they just loaded in? I didn't see them a moment ago. Manchester traffic, KLM 8 Delta Bravo will hold short of runway 23 right. Anyone in the vicinity landing 23 right, departing 23 right? Doesn't look like it. We'll hold short either way, just to be sure. Let's just have a quick look. Can't see anybody on approach. And there's nobody mistakenly taking off 05 left down there. I don't know why there's trees in the middle of the place. It's really frustrating. Manchester traffic, KLM 8 Delta Bravo, crossing runway 23 right.
Manchester traffic, use 75 November Delta, stand 32, pushing back onto Rotterdam.
Oh. So it seems like that guy might have only just connected when he's ready to push, basically, because there's no tower or anything on. I've just realised I've just held short of a taxiway rather than the runway, haven't I? What a moron. I've done that before. It's early in the morning. It's not, it's 9:30. Whoopsie daisy. Oh well. So we're going to hold short. I'm going to take my time just to make sure I've got everything ready for takeoff. We need to put the fuel flow to reset and then rate, which we'll do there. Put the landing lights on. Runway turn-offs on. Don't see what else we need to do, really. Manchester traffic, KLM 8 Delta Bravo, lining up 23 left. Okay, we've got the... We need to put traffic. We need to click that. I think it's traffic. TFC, whatever it is. Line up 23. Just going to hold short. Not hold short. I can't get my words out. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to be cool and do it all smoothly, but it's not working. Nav equipment check. It just says, yeah, we've done all of that. Yeah, transponder TARA, taxi light off. clock, and then good to go. Cool. Manchester traffic, KLM 8 Delta Bravo, departing runway 23 left. Up to 50, and hold it on the parking brakes. Cool, let's go. Come on, Piggy. 80 knots. 100 knots. Accelerating nicely this morning.
V1.
V1. Rotate. I did ask the plane not to call out V1 in the past, but that's fine. Positive rate of climb. Gear is coming up. Nice. Take that auto brake out of RTO. Smooth out the climb. There's a lot of clicking going on. It's just as it sorts the trim out and everything by the sound of it. Quite a steep climb, that. Manchester traffic, KLM 8 Delta Bravo, passing 2,500 feet. Have a good day.
You too, mate.
Oh, that's nice. I always like it when someone calls back just briefly like that.
Manchester traffic is 75 November Delta, taxiing to Papa.
Okay.
Via November Delta,
Oh.
Echo 13 Papa.
Autopilot is in. Smashing. After takeoff checklist, auto brake came off, gear goes into the off position, runway turn off lights come off, just whack those off, cabin lights as required, it's all it says. Our initial climb to 5,000 feet going nice and quickly, and now we're turning left. Time for a beauty shot, I think. Okay, we're overspeeding the flaps. We need to bring those up. Lever goes into climb. Because I forgot to do that as well. That's why we're overspeeding the flaps. What a moron. I knew there was stuff I've forgotten. Oh well. We're fine. We're slowing down a little bit now. And it'll be alright. We're at 5,000 feet. We're going to now go up all the way to our climb of 350. Scrolling, 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 scrolling. Scrolling simulator. Christ. And there it is. Click this. Altitude intervene. Thank you. Up. Go. Go into standard pressure while we do so. Oi. I've said climb. Oh yeah, we've got a restriction. Yeah, on the departure we're restricted to 5,000 feet all the way there, so my bad. Is it not climbing? It knows that we want 35,000 feet because it's in there. Is it all the way to Utuxa that we've got the restriction or what? No. Weird. Hang on, the auto throttle isn't armed anymore. There we go. How very strange. I did wonder if the auto throttle had come out because we'd gone over the speed earlier on. Oh well, we climb now up to cruising altitude while we look over the city. That's Stoke-on-Trent, that is. That's where I live. Not in the city. I live a bit further out that way. Actually, I'm not even that way. I'm directly behind us. But yeah, flying over Stoke. Climbing at a fantastic rate, isn't it? At this high cost index of, what is it, 48 today? Yeah, cost index 48. 5.1 tons of fuel just to go over to Amsterdam from Manchester is, yeah, quite mad. Seen the alternate, by the way. God, I hope editing Chaz put an Ainsley Harriott meme over the top of that. Okay, so just looking at the plan then, it's very simple from this point. We've only got a few waypoints on the way there, actually. We go to the waypoint we're on our way to now, and then we basically just turn sharp left. Look, we go to Hon, and then go completely east. Break away from that airway there, the P155. Go slightly right to open ourselves up more for Redfer, and then we begin the arrival into Amsterdam, Sulet, Sugol, and then we're going to be aiming towards the airfield, but we're going to tell it when we get to a certain point we're going to turn left and go AM240. You would be vectored in, basically. It's sort of like when you go to Manchester. If I go close enough, you'll see, yeah, look, there's the MCT VOR. So you basically, when you come into Manchester, you're usually on one of these, Elvos, and you sort of come in and you're aiming right towards the airfield, and then you get vectored in this way or vectored in that way. That's sort of how it works here at Schiphol as well, because obviously it needs to be spaced out for the amount of arrivals they get in there, especially that come over from the Atlantic. So you go in, you basically aim towards the airfield, and then they say, right, now turn. You'll turn left. We need to figure out where we're going to land, or taxi to, I should say. I'm pretty sure that KLM have all of this area. So we're going to go... Let's go Delta 48. That's the wrong clipboard. And when we get in there, we're going to taxi via Victor, Whiskey 13, and then is it Alpha that comes in clockwise? Victor, Whiskey 13, Whiskey 5, Delta, and then it's, I think it's Alpha. One of them is clockwise, one of them is anti-clockwise. I'm pretty sure Alpha is the clockwise one. Let's have a look on taxi charts. Airport briefing. Airport. Okay. Does it say anything about it? Pilots must continue on A or B unless instructed otherwise. No entry on certain taxiways. Do not mistake highway for runway. That is one of the best things I've ever seen on a chart. It's probably very true though. Okay, so yeah, we're going to come in and go via Alpha. We'll go around via Alpha. I'm going to Google it actually. Alpha and Bravo taxiways, Schiphol, clockwise. Alpha, the inner taxiway is used clockwise, while Bravo, the taxiway closest to the runway, is used anti-clockwise. Awesome, so it's going to be Alpha. It's funny how sometimes when you go from one aircraft to the other to focus on certain elements of how you fly it, you forget some of the basics. Strange, isn't it? Still, we are rattling up to 35,000 feet today. Our top of top of descent is not going to be too far from our top of climb, to be honest with you. Wondering when that's going to be. We go Sivda and we go right. I think we're going to start descending at Redfer. Let me just see on here. Does it say? No, it doesn't say like it does on the Airbus, does it? Go to plan and have a look. There, top of descent. Oh no, that's top of climb, sorry. Been in Egypt. There, top of descent. It's before Redfer, so if we zoom that out. Actually, we can get prog, can't we? Does it not tell us top of descent? It says it on it. Oh yeah, descent. Top of descent, 82 miles. So not all the time in the world. We need to actually figure out on our approach. We're going to go flaps 40, speed 135. And we'll prepare for the top of descent when we're a bit closer to, I think. Not too far now till top of climb. Aircraft is behaving itself, doing wonderful things. It's nice to be back in this thing. It's good. There is the wonderful noise. That means we're getting to within 1,000 feet of our requested altitude from the aircraft. We're at Mach 0.787 at the moment, so we're doing some wonderful speed over the east coast of the UK. There's Norwich, I think, down there on the left. That sort of area. Norwich is over that way a bit. Actually, no, it's even further up there, isn't it? Very flat part of the UK. We're avoiding London at least. London's over to our right-hand side, just down that way. we avoid all of that shenanigans. Not long to go though before the top of descent, 57 miles, so it's not like I'm going to be able to have much of a break and go and have something to eat like I normally do. Not that I do these flights specifically for that, but I'm going to give you a couple of beauty shots now while I enjoy the cruise and go and get the liquid that I need to survive. And yeah, I'll join you in a sec when we prepare for that top of descent. Righty-ho then, let's get ready for our arrival, shall we? Get ready for the top of that descent. So what we need to do is, we've not even turned off the seatbelt signs, we're going to keep everyone sat down for all of this. We need to make sure that we have the ATIS and the airport information. It is 1006 down there at, never mind, no it's not, it's 1008 down there. Surely, according to Valanta, it's 1006. Okay, well we're going to go with what it says in the sim, 1008. We're in standard pressure, so we need to just scoot that down. There's a little 1008 there, you see it? Beautiful. Next up, we need to have the altimeter set, which we've just literally done. I don't know why it's in there twice. We need to reset the MCP altitude. That's the main thing, is that we actually have our altitude. So we need to go to that, and we need to get the arrival chart in. Below 10,000, above 7,000. At Sugol. So I'm going to ask for 7,000. Good thing about the 737 is it will start descending when you've asked it to. We're going to put speed brakes in as well. God, it's a long old scroll. 7,000 feet, crack him. So that's ready at least for when we get down. We can continue to prepare the other stuff without a massive rush. We need the FMC approach speed ref. Let's just make sure we've done that, because I'm pretty sure we did earlier. Yes, flaps 40, speed 135. And then we have the localizer frequency and the ILS course. So we need to get those from here. The final approach course is 182 and the localizer is 110.1. We set those in here. So it's 110. Do that, zoom in a little bit. 110.1. Cool. And then what was the course again? 183? 182. The final course. You need to do that on both sides. It would have been a slight second or two quicker to go the other way, because it's over 180 degrees. And we'll go over to this side of the cockpit, and we'll do 182. And despite saying it'd be quicker to go the other way, Chaz still does it this way. 182, and then down here we need 110.1. In there it goes. Just check on here. Yes, it's got it nice and white on there. And on there as well. If it was wrong, it'd come up yellow with a little line through it. Okay. Basically, that's us. The aircraft will descend when asked. It will wind the engines back, drop us down, and we will begin our approach into Amsterdam, everybody. We've chosen stand Delta 48. We're going to be having quite the taxi in, but I'm excited to see quite how long it takes us to taxi in. We're doing fine for fuel. We've got 3 tons of fuel on board. Should have a little bit more than that realistically, but it's fine. Here it is then. Just touching top of descent. And we'll see the engines wind down now. Fantastic. Flight level 230 or below at Redfer. We're going to put some speed brakes in, just to make sure the 737 doesn't slow down brilliantly. I flew with Ryanair last week to Beauvais airport in France, and I hate to exaggerate, but I have never felt more in my life like I was going off the end of a runway. It was leathering it down when we got into Beauvais. It was very windy. He smacked it down onto the runway, and it felt like we were going to go off the end. I absolutely myself. And at the same time, we were really far out from the airfield, and I'll show you. And you could see the speed brakes on the wings, like you could see them at that sort of angle. You could tell that they were really trying to slow Puppy down from an early stage. Still, I feel like we have everything under control here. It's not often I feel like that in the 737, but admittedly, when I know that it's a pretty standard departure and it's an ILS approach, I feel a lot more comfortable because I know that I know how the aircraft handles ILSs. It's when it's RNAV and when it's VOR and things. That's when I get tripped up. But it's all stuff I can learn in time at the end of the day. And again, I want to repeat what I said in the last charter, that I know I don't get these things right sometimes. I know it's a mess. I know I sit here frustrated sometimes. But I love doing this, and I hope that the fact I'm not perfect is a bit more endearing. I don't do it on purpose. I don't get things wrong on purpose. But I hope that you appreciate that I show the honesty in this not going right all the time. Because it isn't easy, all this. It's not. It's good fun because you have so much confidence in yourself when you get it right. But yeah, it's not easy at all. I've brought the speed brakes back out now, and I'm just letting the aircraft float its way down with the throttles almost at idle. But I was realising that with the speed brakes in, it was sort of pushing the throttles a bit to maintain its speed. So it's 230 or below at Redfer, and to be fair, we've got a good 10 miles maybe before we get to that, and we're at 25,000 feet, losing 2.5 a minute, so all golden. Okay, we've got our next restriction at Sugal. We need to be below 10,000 feet, so obviously we have to have the landing lights on by that point. The aircraft is trying to figure that out by the look of it. It's staying on profile, but it seems to think we're going to get to that altitude much further after it, although that is 7,000 feet that I've asked it for in here, so it's trying to get to 7,000 feet there, but it can only do it by there, but that's fine as long as we're below 10,000. Once we get into Sugal, that's when we're then aiming it in a straight line towards the airfield, and then we will try and get it to go to AM240. We'll get rid of SPL. We'll just basically bring that forward and then make the turn. Going into quite a bit of cloud here by the look of it. Some pretty hefty cloud here around Schiphol. Just going to check the rest of the arrival chart here. So 070, and then on the way in to the ILS, Sugal 07055, and then in. Where do we intercept? ILS 18 right. Yeah, look, it thinks you're going directly to SPL, then up that way. We're intercepting at 2,000 feet. Yeah, there it is on the other chart as well. What are the minimums? 187 minimums. We're turning right here. Let's get those minimums in, shall we? It's on Barrow, so we just need to spin that. 187. Not much scrolling to do there. That was a proper whistle, that. 187 Barrow minimums in. Okay, breaking out of that cloud now. We're going to be turning right at Sugal shortly. We need to turn this range down, to be honest. We'll turn it down to 20. Wonderfully on profile at the moment. The aircraft's doing a smashing job. So we want to be below 10,000 feet by there. We've got about 8 miles to go to it, and we are doing really well. The aircraft is now reducing speed. You can see this number coming down on here. Is there a restriction on the speed actually on the arrival? Let's just quickly go to this, check the arrival. I imagine it's 220 knots, no, 250. Yeah, so what it's done is it's shallowed out the descent now to make sure we are at 250 knots before we go under 10,000 feet. I'm going to just preemptively put the landing lights on a little bit early, just to make sure. Everybody's sat down, seatbelt signs are all on, it's all good. The seatbelt signs have actually been on auto. I never put the engines into the off position since we got going. And now we make our right turn at Sugal. The airport is just over there somewhere. I'm just trying to figure it out actually. I think that's it there actually. It's obviously not loaded in properly yet. But we are now under 10,000 feet. The aircraft is still slowing down because we cannot continue descending beyond that. I've asked it for 7,000 feet. I think it knows there's a restriction. I'm going to now ask it for 2,000 feet. So we can get down there as soon as possible. We're a little bit above profile now, as you can see. We're going over that because the aircraft is trying to slow down. It'll catch up to that. That's not too far out of its remit. Happy to report that my stick has once again disconnected. Let me just unplug it and plug it back in. Doesn't like it when I do this. I don't know why it disconnects. I think I've got a power surge issue with the extension and things that I use in my house. Everything's back where it should be. We're okay. Okay, so the aircraft wants 240 knots at the minute. That's good to know that it's aiming for that. There you can see, look, we're going in that direction, and we want to go to that AM 240 at some point. Okay, how far out are we now? 50 miles. Schiphol traffic, KLM 8 Delta Bravo, aiming to arrive on runway 18 right. Still 50 miles to go. Just checking anyone in the vicinity. Someone's in an MD-11 on runway 27. Someone else is coming on 18 left in Transavia. Doesn't look like anyone on approach to 18 right, so that's fine. I'm going to ask the aircraft for 220 knots now. If it'll let me. There we go, it's that one. Speed intervene. It'll be able to descend a little bit quicker as well as a result of that. Once we get next to AM 240, we're gonna get to about here, and then we'll ask it to go left to there. All we'll do is just quickly go into legs, put that up there. Okay, the aircraft has powered up a little bit. There is the airport directly in front of us. But we're going to make a left turn now to AM 240. We're going to pop that in here. So we're going to go AM 240, boom, go. Straight away the aircraft responds, turns left for us. Nice. Big fan of that. And it is descending sharpish. Fantastic. Where's the racing circuit, Zandvoort? Because it's near the airport, is it not? Isn't it further up the coast, like along here? Ah, I found it. There it is. Knew it was nearby. Got quite the crosswind at the moment. 28 knots at the minute. We're going to take out the speed intervene now. We're going to put flaps in. We're going to go flaps 1. So the aircraft knows to slow down. Descended quite quickly for a moment there. And now we're going to begin our turn. So just to make sure we've got everything ready then. We've got the approach checklist all good. Localizer frequency and localizer course is ready. Just need to, basically, once we've got the glide slope alive, we need to put the gear down and get cracking. So when we turn onto it, we're going to then click approach. Going to go down another notch on the flaps, go to flaps 2. Stay at 180 knots. We'll do a speed intervene. We'll do 180. Going to arm the approach now. It's got the VOR and the localizer. It's lined up there. And the glide slope. Schiphol traffic, KLM 8 Delta Bravo, turning onto final runway 18 right. Now, with my stick disconnecting earlier, I wondered whether I might have had any issues with transmitting and people might not have heard me when I said that was a while away. But it's alright. We're going to be turning right a little bit more in a minute, aren't we? I was going to say, the airport's there. There's 18. Single CH. We want our VAP speed, which is 140 knots. Or is it? Let's just go in here. Index, approach, 135. We want to be going a bit quicker than that. No, we don't. We're about 10 miles out. Okay. We're above the glide slope, which is concerning. We've gone flaps 10. Come on. It's gradually coming down. Alright. Alright. I'll do something about it then. Oh, it's such an annoying noise. Oh, how do I shut you up? That is the most irritating noise. Does it want gear down? Is that what it is? Is that why? Because we're going that slowly without the gear down. My God. It's catching up with the profile now. Okay. Schiphol traffic, KLM 8 Delta Bravo, 5 miles to run. Come on. Get us down. We're above it. How has this happened again? Honestly. We're going to put auto brakes on too. No arm the speed brakes. How am I always like too high or too fast in this thing when I'm following the approach? Drop the speed a little bit. Come on, we're catching up. We've got a lovely crosswind of 19 knots at the minute. It's pretty heavy.
1,000.
Yeah. I'm going to smooth it out a little bit now. We're catching up to the profile, which is what we want. Again, was it just we were going too fast? Or did I not go far enough out, or what? It says glide slope now, thanks. Welcome to the conversation. Yeah, what do you want? Okay. No auto throttle or anything on these landings with the 7.3. So you have to be pretty multitask capable. God, it's all over the joint. Look how far off the runway it looks like we're going.
300.
It's moving around a lot in this wind. Doing alright though.
To approaching minimums. Minimums.
Continue. Need a little bit more throttle.
50.
Gonna touch down quite
40,
late here.
30. 20. 10.
Whoa. Into reverse. Decent amount of reverse this time. Thank you, 737. Not quite going to make it off this one, though. Okay, manual braking. And we're going to exit at the next taxiway on the left. Again, I don't know why the approach didn't go to plan. It just had us too high. We were supposed to intercept at 2,000 feet, but yeah, I think maybe I just didn't slow the aircraft down in enough time. Maybe I went on the flaps too late. I just stayed on flap 2 when I should have been, you know, rather than what would be flap 2 on the Airbus is like, you know, flap 10 or flap 15 on the 737. So we'll exit here. Schiphol traffic, KLM 8 Delta Bravo has vacated runway 18 right. Okay, let's just do a little tidy up after we've done. We need the runway turn-offs off. It's funny that, isn't it, how that works. We want the transponder off. Well, we'll put it onto TA anyway. We want the flaps to be retracted. Let's get them all the way back up. Speed brakes back down. Landing lights come off. Taxi lights going to come on. Strobe lights and everything are back to how they were. Should have had that on strobe and steady earlier. I realised that actually while I was in the air. And then the APU we want to start. And we'll check that it's running when we get in. Engine start switches go into the off position. They should have been in continuous as we came to land. Auto brake comes off. Okay, now we need to just figure out our taxi route. I think we went over it earlier on, but we're going in here. Delta 48. So we are going via Victor, Whiskey 13, Whiskey Sierra, Delta Alpha. Schiphol traffic, KLM 8 Delta Bravo, taxiing standard Delta 48 via Alpha. Okay, welcome to Amsterdam, everybody. Sorry that was not quite as pretty on the way in as I'd have hoped. Still, it's been an interesting little hop as ever. Again, I think I just need to reassess my procedures in the 737. It's been a while since I've flown the thing, in my defence. It's not an aircraft that I practice often, but I've got a few more charters coming up in it soon, so I need to make sure I polish up. Either way, I hope you're enjoying the content as a result. How cool was that there, seeing the company traffic aircraft landing on the left? That was awesome. They didn't announce anything though, so I wonder if I'm even on the right frequency. There they are, just touching down now. Am I on frequency or what? There's no airspace or anything, like any controllers on or anything, so we're going via Victor. We're going to just go down this way and we'll get onto Victor there. Going to cross runway 18 left, which I think is where that 777 came in, although it looked like they were quite central actually. That is 18 centre, sorry, that I was looking at. They came in on 18 left. Thanks once again, Daniel Boddington, for chartering this flight today, mate. I hope you've enjoyed this little hop over to the Netherlands. I think the moral of the story is I just came in way too hot. Remember, don't mistake the highway for a runway. I was just thinking to myself then, what if somebody wants to come down Victor? But I suppose that's only ever an issue if you've got landing aircraft and departing aircraft on that runway. You'll never have both, because it is way out on the edge of the airfield, look. And if you're taking off that way, then nothing's going to be landing that way and then coming back, is it? Everything's going to be landing on these. We'll need to cross runway 18 centre as well. So we'll need to be sure that we call up on frequency to check that. Which taxiway is it we're going on? Literally this one. So not this one here. This one. Need to slow it down, we're doing 30 knots. Or is that 13? No, this one. Doubted myself for a second there. Schiphol traffic, KLM 8 Delta Bravo, looking to cross runway 18 centre. Anyone on approach? Let's just slow it down. Nothing. Okay. KLM 8 Delta Bravo, crossing runway 18 centre. I find it strange that I didn't hear that company traffic 777 calling up earlier. Not sure if people just check on Volanta or on VAT Glasses or VAT Spy, something like that, and decide not to call up because they know they don't have to, but it's a good habit to get into just to check, isn't it? Just in case you can't see somebody. Okay, so where do we go now? We're going Delta. Sorry. And then we're going Alpha down here very soon. It's a long old taxi in this. I said in my last video when I was at Frankfurt, it's probably the longest amount of taxi footage that I've got. But this one's going to rival that, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so it should be, yeah, Bravo is the first one, and then Alpha is the second one. We're a little bit off the centre line here, thanks to that previous shot I did. But here is Amsterdam, everybody. One of the largest airports in the world, Amsterdam Schiphol. It's great to be back here. Just turning on to Alpha now. And we're going to go all the way around. And then in on, it's not called Delta, but for some reason, because we're on ramp Delta, that's the name it's got. Excuse me. Alpha 9 Charlie is where we're coming in on for Delta 48. We'll get GSX ready, shall we? Should probably do that. Deep here, and it's D48 as it loads GSX in. Has another lovely stutter. So we've got a bunch of charters lined up after this. I'm just going to have a quick look now on my spreadsheet that I've got where I keep track of it all, just to give you an idea. 8 more after this. We're going to places like Geneva, back to Manchester. There's one in America as well, going to an airport that I've controlled on Tower Simulator 3 that I'm looking forward to. Germany again. Funnily enough, we're going to the same airport twice in 2 episodes. Back here to Amsterdam, we're going to another aircraft much further up north that I enjoyed, and then into Italy. There will be a flight interrupting this towards the end of June. I'm delighted to say that I'm going to be going to the Flight Sim Expo at the end of June. I'm going to be there with Phil there from Tower Simulator 3. Oh, sorry, with the people that made Tower Simulator 3, Phil there. I'm going to be playing the game on site at the FS Expo. It's going to be absolutely mega. And then I hope you don't want to come down here. No, they're on Bravo. Look at that, KLM 777. The company 777, do we need to hold short for you at any point? Yeah, nice. I bet they've been using the text thing, haven't they? No? Yeah, nice. Yeah, just cut me up. Cool to see though, innit? I will learn the 777 at some point. But yeah, I have a special video planned for when I go out to the expo. There'll be a video coming out that Sunday. Still a flight sim video. There'll be one coming out then as well. Where is Alpha? Is Alpha here? No, I need to go here. They must be going in that gate there. Yeah. In they go. I thought it was a much tighter turn than that to Alpha. Ah, no, we go across. I thought we were going to just a right, like a 90-degree right-hander. So then we make our way around here. Ah, what am I doing? I got distracted by pretty planes. It's not his fault, I'm just an idiot. So Alpha 9 Charlie is going to be the next one in. That's where all the heavies and a lot of the bigger aircraft go down there. Here in Amsterdam. See, look, there's Alpha 9er. So it'll be Alpha 9 Charlie, the next taxiway that we get to. Winding the throttles off now. Preparing to get into the gate. Just tap the brakes a little bit, slow it down. In we turn, Alpha 9 Charlie. And it should be the, I think the fourth stand on the right is ours. There they are, there's everyone waiting for us. Beautiful. This is the Fly Tampa scenery for Schiphol. We've got the APU running. Where's our operative? It's this one. Delta 48. Turn it in. Ah, yeah, we don't have the operative because we've got the safe dock thing, haven't we? Okay, we're on that centre line. Oh, we are flying up to it. Ah, no. Bit too heavy on the brakes there. Fortunately, unlike the A320neo, this aircraft sort of stays at the same speed when it's on the ground. It doesn't accelerate madly on idle power. That'll do. Cool. Parking brake comes on then. And as of the shutdown checklist, we have to, set the parking brake, turn the engine control levers off. But no, we want to do the APU gen first. We'll change over to that. Oh, sugar. Oh, sugar. APU gen we have changed over. Yeah, it'll just be a case of turning the engines off then, I guess. It wants chocks on. It wants chocks on. Okay. There they go. Chocks on. And let's turn these engines off, shall we? 1 and 2. Okay, and once they're done, the anti-collision light comes off, the APU bleed goes on, APU bleed, and the anti-collision light comes off. I believe at that point, that's when it starts doing the GSX stuff, does it? No. Okay, with the Airbus it is. Let's go to GSX then and let's request deboarding. Cool. Jetway comes over. Beautiful. We need to do the fuel pumps except for the left aft one because that obviously keeps the APU running. Electronic hydraulic pumps come off. That's up there, I think. Why don't I just do that? No, they're down here. What an idiot. And then the isolation valve goes to open, not closed. Flight directors come off. And that's when we're all good.
Passengers deboarding starting.
Flight directors off. And welcome to Amsterdam Schiphol, everybody. Thank you so much, Daniel Boddington, for chartering this flight here today. Certainly a challenge, as always, in the 737, but that's just part of the job. I'm going to try and get better and better in this aircraft. Hopefully the development of that makes a bit more of an interesting narrative for my YouTube channel. But, as always, these charters keep coming thick and fast, and it's great to see it, and I'm very, very grateful. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next episode.